Hello again, welcome to the IBB version 3 guide. This is the second part and we're going to discuss what's inside the group because there's the very important brick controls. So if you press tab, you go in the group. Again, control tab goes out, tab goes in. And once you're in, you've got this. And firstly, we'll talk about the brick nodes. So this one is probably displacement, and this one, oh, it says there displacement color. So they're both doing separate jobs, but which is why it says here your settings need to be matched on both nodes because they're both doing the same thing. So if you change, say, the offset on this one to 0.8, you're going to get this weird line. So you've got to match it, put 0.8 in there. And now you can see we've changed the pattern of the brick. So if we put frequency 5, it will look terrible until you put frequency 5 in there. So that's why these two are here. They couldn't be outside the node group. They've got to be inside. So you don't. All this is accessible outside the group. These you can't. There's no input for them. So that's why they've got to be here. So whatever you change it and match it on both. And these are the defaults in case you forget. So 0.5, 2, 1, 2. You put them in when you're done. Alright, that's the nodes. Very useful for doing stuff like this. So let us say that this is our wall and we want to turn that into an object to be used in other 3D software like Unity or something, or just use it in Eevee. We can do that. But what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to make this more wall shaped by selecting this outer edge loop, going into top mode and just extruding this on the Y, and then I'm just going to control R that and add a similar amount of edge loops, and then I'm going to cube project the lot, and then we should have a tasty looking wall. There we go. Okay, so let's say we want to turn this into an object, a physical object with physical geometry. So if we shift D the wall, because obviously you're going to make it on the IWB first, you might as well copy whatever shape you've made it on, and then we don't need the material on this, but because the UV mapping is exactly the same, it will look the same. Okay, so let's start with the baking process. Where's it gone? Press, yeah, if you're in a blank screen, press tab. So these are all the outputs you're going to need, and when you control shift click, assuming you've got Node Wrangler, all we'll see with this pip is the color. That's not light or anything like that, it's just the pure color information, and we want to bake that. So we're going to have to drag down a window here. We don't really need so much there, and I'm going to make that a image editor. And in the image editor, because these are the pips to get the information, this is the node to preview it and prepare it for baking, and then you've got UV mapping, which you don't really need to change because texture baking needs UVs pretty much. So with control shift click color, we've got the color information. We're going to click new up here, and we'll call it IBB col, I guess, and we want this to be at least 4K. Anything else, it's not great. We don't need alpha, and then we just click OK. And then in this node here, we want to put in what we just made, IBB col. So that's ready for the texture that we're going to bake. And you need to select the object, and then in render settings, under render, because I'm using Blender 3 now, so this is slightly different. Anything before, you don't have time limit or anything like that, you just have samples. So the render, we want one sample. It only needs to do one because it's color, not light. And I'm going to collapse that, collapse film. Under performance, under should be memory. Under memory, use tiling, and tile size needs to match this. So because we made this 4K, 4096. And once you have done that, you can collapse that, and under bake type, we want emit, which is already selected because this is now going into an emission node. Once we've done that, we click bake. And then the last time I did this in Blender 3, it was really fast. I'm hoping it's fast. It's super fast. So now we've got that map. So we need to save that image, save as, which is, I don't care, I'll put it in here, IBB col, I save as a TIFF because it's lossless, save as, and that's that. So then we click the cross, and we want to Control Shift click displacement, and now we want to bake this as well. So we need a new image, call it IBB disp, same settings, OK, and then change this to IBB disp, select that, press bake. Excuse me. And there we are. So we want to save that image, save as, because none of this is color information. We don't need 32-bit float or anything. Press, there we want a TIFF, save as, and we'll do the bump, which seems to have a massive crack in it, whatever. So click cross, click new, call it IBB bump, same settings, OK, and then we want to change that to IBB bump, and we want to press big. So let's big that. So according to this, that should be a really visible crack, but it's not that visible for some reason. Weird. Anyway, image, save as, and let's save that as a TIFF as well. Same name, IBB bump. Okay. And roughness, because we've not got the dirt streaks or anything, don't really need that. Once you plug it into a BSDF, you can use that roughness. Okay, so that's that. Now we can delete this one, this wall, because we don't need the IBB anymore, and we can switch over to Eevee to continue working. And we also don't need this thing anymore. So we want to make a new material. There it is. And you want, I'll just tell you what you need, you can find it. Image texture, you want 2 of them. You want a texture coordinate, and you're going to want a bump node, which is there. Okay, so plug the UV from the texture coordinate into both of these. Missed. Plug this into color, plug that into height, and then that into normal, and now we just load the images. So open in the top one, and we want IBB col. In the bottom one, we want IBB bump. And it looks like that. Until the displacement starts, that looks weird as hell. So let's do the displacement, shall we? That might be an idea. So under your modifiers tab, you want to add a displace. And then you want to click new. Go to your texture properties down here. Open. And then we want IBB disp. Which, yes, is going to look terrible. So under coordinates, so back in your modifiers, under coordinates you want UV and direction normal, strength, mid-level down to 0, and then the strength way down to like 0.2. Might even want a bit more resolution. It's already on 5, it doesn't need more. 0.3. There we go. Alright. So yeah, there you go. That's the IBB in Eevee. I've also found with bump in Eevee specifically, it's way stronger. So I'd take that down to 0.2, maybe 0.3. Yeah, you can see. I mean, that's much better. So now you've got this in here. You could now apply in this order. It's got to be the subdivision first to give geometry for the displace. So if you hover over this and press Control A, and then hover over that and press Control A, you now have physical geometry. There you go. So this could be exported as anything, as an OBJ or whatnot, but now it's physical. And you can continue adding displace modifiers if you want to warp bricks all over the place. Do what you want, really. But yeah, there you go. That is how you do that. Wicked. Awesome. Okay. Now you know what the inside of the group does. Wicked. I hope you have more fun. I have been Nick. You have been you. Until next time, farewell.